Caleb had only recently moved into his new apartment when he found that it had a regular visitor, a colorful parrot squawking away. Caleb had started to become rather fond of the creature, as he saw the bird once a day and taught it some new words. Then the words that the bird used seemed to click, and Caleb visibly paled. He knew he had to take immediate action and called 911. Detective Michaels and Caleb set out to find the truth, but it seemed like this was not as easy as the two would have liked it to be. Every answer just seemed to raise more questions. Who was the owner of the parrot? What did those cryptic messages mean? And most importantly, would they be able to crack the case? But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. It hadn't been long before that Caleb, an ex-Marine, had bought his new place in a quieter part of town. As a person still struggling with loud noise, it seemed to be his wisest course of action. Especially with the view his new place gave him, the place seemed to be paradise. Caleb had no clue how that would be disturbed. It had been a few weeks since he moved, but his social skills regarding other people in the building seemed to be non-existent. The bird squawked a few times before leaving Caleb again. The ex-Marine had thought it to be a one-time thing, but as the days progressed, he noticed how it had become a routine for the bird to come a few hours before sunset and leave after the day had been exchanged for the night. A week had passed after their first meeting, and that was when Caleb decided to embrace what was happening to him. He bought his feathery friend some food. That way, if they were hanging out on his balcony again, he would have some snacks for both of them. It would be that action that would solidify their bond. As that sunset, the bird again perched on his railing, and this time Caleb fed the bird. After some research, Caleb came to the conclusion that this bird was not wild but probably either released or abandoned by its owners. His heart ached for the bird as he let it feed from his hand. "Who's a pretty bird?" he said, cooing at it. The bird cocked his head as it let out a screech. Pretty bird," it mimicked. Over the following days, the routine the two shared became almost sacred to Caleb. Every late afternoon he would wait expectantly for the bird to arrive. The two became comfortable with one another as the sunsets he spent with the bird became therapeutic. It had been a unique blend of company and solitude that he hadn't known he needed. The balcony was now adorned with toys and various perches for the bird to sit on. It would even venture into Caleb's living room, though it would never stay for long, always preferring the outside. Every time the bird would return, Caleb would try out new words and phrases, attempting to get the parrot to mimic him. Often, he was met with a squawk and a tilt of the bird's head or a playful nip, but occasionally the parrot would surprise him, repeating the phrases perfectly. Soon the bird began to talk using the few phrases and words that Caleb had taught him. However, one sunset, the bird said a phrase that Caleb had never used before, confusing the ex-Marine. Caleb decided to consult local vets and bird sanctuaries, trying to trace the bird's origins by showing the professionals a picture he had taken of the animal. He posted flyers and initiated social media searches. However, it seemed like every lid came to a dead end. The parrot's past remained a mystery, but that wouldn't be for much longer. As no one came to claim the bird, Caleb decided that, for the time being, he could pretend that the bird was his. The two became playful with each other, as the bird often nudged toys toward him, asking for a game of toss and fetch. Nevertheless, they would have their quiet moments too, where the two would simply sit side by side until the sun went under the horizon. It had been a warm evening, where Caleb had been softly playing with his guitar. The bird would sometimes mimic the tones of his guitar, but tonight he seemed to be particularly talkative. Between the regular hellos and pretty bird chants, he began muttering a series of words that seemed disjointed at first. Caleb was just trying to understand it when goosebumps started to form. "Someone will hear," the bird repeated. Caleb wanted to ask again, but they continued talking. "Please let me call home," it squawked. "No calling, no calling. No help coming, no help coming." Caleb's blood ran cold as realization struck him. This wasn't just the bird saying words, it was a replay of a past event. He knew he had to call the police. Caleb's heart raced as the parrot's eerie words hung in the air. The shock of hearing a bird speak so distinctly left him dumbfounded. He tried to dismiss it, thinking he might be overreacting. "Maybe it's a coincidence," he mumbled to himself. But the parrot's tone, the urgency in its voice, left an unsettling feeling that lingered. Caleb, unable to shake off the unsettling encounter, turned to the internet for answers. He frantically typed in queries about talking parrots, hoping to find any plausible explanation. Articles and forums popped up, but they offered no solace. Doubt gnawed at him. Perhaps the parrot had simply picked up phrases from the television. He needed more information to ease his growing unease. Hours passed, and doubt continued to creep into Caleb's mind. He replayed the parrot's words over and over, questioning his own perception. Was he letting fear and paranoia cloud his judgment? He gazed out at the city skyline, his thoughts filled with uncertainty. The parrot's words haunted him, and he couldn't ignore the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Caleb's search grew more determined as he delved deeper into the depths of the internet. He scoured websites, forums, and videos, seeking information about parrot behavior and their ability to mimic voices. The more he read, the more he realized that parrots could repeat phrases from their surroundings. But the parrot's specific words, those troubling phrases, still baffled him. Nightfall painted the city in shadows, mirroring Caleb's growing unease. The weight of uncertainty pressed upon him as he paced his balcony. He knew he couldn't dismiss the parrot's words any longer. It wasn't just a talking bird, but a messenger of something he couldn't yet fathom. The burden of doubt had become too heavy, and Caleb knew he had to confront the unsettling mystery head-on. Determined to uncover the truth behind the parrot's cryptic messages, Caleb took action. He set up discreet surveillance cameras on his balcony, ensuring every move of his feathered companion would be captured. Caleb couldn't rely solely on the parrot for answers. He decided to approach his neighbors, hoping they might shed light on the previous occupants of his apartment. He knocked on doors, engaged in small talk, and subtly inquired about any peculiar occurrences in the building. However, the neighbors' stories were inconsistent, leaving Caleb more baffled than before. The varying accounts from his neighbors about the previous tenants left Caleb in a state of confusion. Some claimed an elderly lady had lived there, while others mentioned a young couple. The inconsistencies fueled his determination to unravel the mystery independently. He knew he needed to conduct research to piece together the enigmatic puzzle that had taken hold of his life. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, Caleb decided to seek insights from other tenants. He approached them one by one, cautiously inquiring about their own experiences with the parrot. Some shared anecdotes of strange occurrences, while others remained tight-lipped. Each conversation deepened the intrigue, compelling Caleb to continue his quest for answers. As Caleb collected stories from his neighbors, a vexing pattern emerged: conflicting information and contradictory tales. Some neighbors insisted on the elderly lady, while others adamantly claimed it was a young couple who had lived there. The bewildering inconsistencies only fueled Caleb's determination to unravel the truth, as he realized he was navigating a maze of uncertainty. With conflicting accounts swirling around him, Caleb decided to take matters into his own hands. He embarked on a personal investigation, meticulously documenting every detail related to the parrot and its strange phrases. Armed with a determination to solve the puzzle, he delved deeper into the enigmatic world that had taken hold of his life. Caleb's eyes widened as he grasped the truth. The parrot had been sending a distress signal all along, right from his own balcony. The realization sent shivers down his spine, and he knew he couldn't ignore it any longer. This wasn't a mere coincidence, it was a desperate cry for help from an unknown source. With the newfound knowledge, Caleb understood the urgency of documenting the parrot's messages. He meticulously recorded the Morse code, ensuring that he had compelling evidence of the alarming messages. It was no longer a mystery to him, it was a call for action. Convinced that the parrot's messages were not coincidental but a plea for assistance, Caleb knew he had to act swiftly. With unwavering resolve, he contacted the police, providing them with the recorded Morse code messages. He understood that the parrot held the key to a mystery he couldn't solve alone, and the authorities needed to be involved. Among the skeptical officers, Detective Michaels stood out. His experienced eye recognized the potential significance of Caleb's discovery. Intrigued by the cryptic messages, he suspected a possible link to his own ongoing investigations. However, he couldn't disclose those details to a civilian just yet. Caleb felt a sense of relief as Detective Michaels expressed interest in the case. He quickly arranged to meet the detective, eager to introduce him to the parrot and its enigmatic messages. The sun was setting, casting long shadows in his apartment, but the hope of uncovering the truth overshadowed the fading light. During their meeting, Detective Michaels emphasized the importance of tracking the parrot's movements. He explained that understanding where the parrot went after leaving Caleb's balcony was crucial to unraveling the mystery. The detective's expertise and guidance marked the beginning of a new phase in their quest for answers as they ventured deeper into the unknown. Detective Michaels, recognizing the significance of the case, expressed his unwavering belief. In hushed tones, he hinted at a confidential investigation he was conducting, implying a mysterious connection. Caleb's curiosity intensified, and he knew they were on the brink of a revelation. As Detective Michaels divulged more, he suggested a potential link between the parrot's messages and his classified case. The unspoken details weighed heavily on Caleb's mind, and he realized that this investigation delved into deeper, darker territory. The parrot's role in all of this remained shrouded in enigma. In a moment of shared understanding, Caleb and Detective Michaels agreed to collaborate. The detective vowed to keep certain details confidential for the sake of the ongoing investigation. Detective Michaels visited Caleb's apartment, his curiosity piqued by the enigmatic parrot. He observed the bird's behavior closely, noting its peculiar phrases and the unsettling urgency in its tone. The parrot's presence seemed to heighten the gravity of the situation. In Caleb's apartment, the parrot didn't disappoint. It repeated its troubling phrases, this time in front of Detective Michaels. The detective's expression grew solemn as he realized the urgency of the case. The parrot's words were more than mere mimicry, they held the key to a mystery that demanded immediate attention. Caleb and Detective Michaels huddled together to plan their next move. They needed to track the parrot's movements and find out where it went after leaving Caleb's balcony. It was a crucial step toward unraveling the mystery that had taken hold of their lives. Charged with determination in their hearts, they equipped the parrot with a tracking device. It was a pivotal moment as they prepared for a breakthrough in their investigation. With the tracking device in place, Caleb and Detective Michaels embarked on the pursuit of the parrot's elusive destination. The need to uncover the truth drove them forward, their footsteps echoing with a shared determination. Detective Michaels, recognizing Caleb's ex-Marine background and his unwavering dedication, extended an unexpected invitation. He asked Caleb to actively assist in the investigation, leveraging his skills and instincts to navigate the mystery. With the aid of advanced tracking technology, their search intensified. The device led them unerringly to the parrot's destination, and they moved swiftly, aware that they were inching closer to a potential breakthrough. As they neared the parrot's next stop, Detective Michaels, sensing the importance of the moment, made a critical decision. He called for backup. Recognizing the significance of what lay ahead, charged with determination etched on their faces, Caleb and Detective Michaels entered the ominous house. They were driven by the need to find the source of the parrot's alarming messages. Every creaking floorboard echoed with suspense as they ventured further into the darkness. Their search inside the abandoned house yielded frustrating results. There were no signs of life, leaving them both puzzled and bewildered. The enigma seemed to deepen, and they couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. Following the parrot's eerie words, they descended into an underground hiding place, revealing the abducted lady's terrifying ordeal. Her desperate plea for help echoed in the dimly lit chamber, solidifying their commitment to rescue her from this nightmarish situation. The police swiftly arrested the woman's ex-boyfriend, finally bringing an end to her traumatic ordeal. Justice prevailed as the culprit was unveiled, ensuring that he faced the consequences of his heinous actions. With the police's unwavering assistance, the lady was rescued from her harrowing confinement. Caleb and the parrot played instrumental roles in her release, bringing her back to the world she had been forcibly separated from. Caleb and the lady decided that the parrot deserved a permanent place in Caleb's home. Their bond with the bird had grown strong, and they couldn't bear to part with the faithful companion who had led them to this remarkable reunion. A bond forged in the crucible of rescue and redemption connected Caleb, the parrot, and the rescued lady. Their remarkable journey marked the end of a heartwarming chapter in their lives, reminding them that even the most unexpected friendships could lead to extraordinary outcomes.